I don't want this one. I don't want. Send another one, please. I promise I'm not being ungrateful.
Y'all, it's a hard knock life. It's a hard knock life. Because look, y'all know I'm flower tower. Flowers have leaves. I decided to turn a new leaf over. I'm on my nice flow, y'all. And it's finna be the Christmas season. You know, it's such a nice time of year. Everybody's so happy and nice. And so I ain't trying to be no Grinch, no Ebenezer Scrooge, right? So I'm trying to be nice. But I gotta address them crusty ass eyelashes this bitch got because that looks disgusting. That look like when somebody got like pink eye or something, they eye be all crusty. If I see somebody's eyes looking like that, I'd be like, you gotta get away from me. Like, no, cause don't come at me with that, right? What eyelash glue did you use? Like, that looks nasty. I need to start doing makeup tutorials because y'all need them for real. But let's get to my point here, okay? Because I brought them crusty ass lashes up for a reason, right? I mean, I did just bring it up because they crusty as well, and that needs to be pointed out because, bitch, ugh. But there's another reason as well, okay? This is the reality now. I don't know where in Africa this woman is from. She is an African woman, but I'm not sure where specifically, so I'm just going to be referring to Africans in general. And before y'all come to my video and be like, Flower Tower, Africa's so diverse, 54 countries, this many hundreds and thousands of tribes, so and so and so, don't even come to me with that, because y'all want to know what I scrolled past in my phone? Something happened one day when I was outside, right? And I recorded it because I was like, I'm going to make a YouTube video about this, but I never had the time to. Guess what it was, y'all? Take a second to think, and guess what it was? So I was out walking somewhere, right? And I walked past a place called Falu's African Hair Braiding Shop. And I recorded that because I said, now y'all be under my YouTube channel talking about, oh, Africa's so diverse, Flower Tower, you can't just call us Africans. You got to specify the country and the tribe and the lineage. And that is the Bantu braiding shop. That is the Biafran braiding shop. You know what I'm saying? That's how y'all be under my YouTube, right? But then y'all open these braiding shops and you call them African braiding shop. No specificity at all, right? So that happened, right? Then would you believe I walked all of about, I don't know, maybe 3 more blocks. Then I came across another African braiding shop. And I forget the name of that one. I think the person's name started with a G. I don't know. But it said African braiding shop again. It was not the this is the Hutu braiding shop. This is the Fulani braiding shop. No, it was the African braiding shop. Now I'm pointing this out for a reason. You all generalize yourselves all the time. But as soon as somebody else calls you African, suddenly it's, oh, you got to specify why you say you got your hair braided by the Africans. Because it's called the African braiding shop. What am I supposed to say? You called yourself African first. Like, y'all say, oh, y'all always talk about, y'all got your hair braided by the Africans. That sounds so derogatory. You call yourself African. Like, what? So before I even get into this video, like I said, I will be referring to her as an African woman. And guess what? That's just going to be that, because y'all call yourselves Africans all the time. So move the fuck along, okay? Now, anyway, let's get to my point. Right? Let's look at this woman's aesthetic. Now, she definitely looks crunchy, right? She tried, but the crunch is there. The crunch is definitely there, okay? But she's clearly imitating a Black American woman's aesthetic, because this is the reality. This is not how Africans dress or whatever, right? When you go to Africa, this is not how they do their hair. This is not how they do their makeup. This is not any of that, right? Unless they ingest Black American media and they see it and they're imitating us. This is very clearly a Black American way of doing hair and makeup, or at least an attempt, because again, the crunch is there, right? Our shit don't be crunchy like this. But my point is this, right? I've said this before. Me personally, right? My issue is not with other groups of Black people engaging in Black American culture or aesthetic or whatever, right? My issue is when you all engage in our shit, but you still be hating on us, though. Like when y'all engage in our culture, but then y'all turn around and say, Black Americans don't have any culture. That be my issue. My issue, if like, it's not just y'all engaging in our stuff. Because if you were respectfully engaged in African American culture or aesthetic or whatever, then I wouldn't have no problem with it personally. But it be the fact that way too often y'all be balls deep in our stuff, but then you turn around and you make a video like this. And oh my God, y'all, I have to apologize. I'm slacking. For my visually impaired people, the caption on the video reads, "When God sends the love of your life, but he's a Black American man," right? And then the sound is, "Oh, I don't want this." Like, send another one because I don't want this, right? And my thing is this, because first of all, we already addressed the fact that she tried her hardest to be a boneless Black American woman, right? But she's sitting here trying to dog Black American men, okay? But this is my other thing. We got to be realistic about something, okay? And I'm not saying this to humble nobody or put nobody down. So I want you guys to actually listen to what I'm saying. Now, I'll be fair and say the crunchy ass eyelashes, that was just me cooking the bitch a little bit. But this is not that right here, okay? I have to be honest when I say this. The reality is most Black Americans, men and women, most Black Americans are not checking for Africans. And let me explain that, because that is rooted in anti-Blackness, but that's going to play into this whole conversation, though. We live in a world of white supremacy. That is the reality of the fact. And we know that Blackness is the antithesis of whiteness, okay? That being said, we must live in a world of anti-Blackness. Now, if you don't agree with that, then, I mean, okay, sure, that's the stance you taking. But let me tell you something my daddy always told me, okay? There's 3 people you do not lie to: your doctor, your lawyer, and yourself. So take a moment to think. Maybe you should stop lying to yourself. But whatever. Yeah, that's up to you. Okay. Now this is my thing. Because of this, if you are Black, no matter where you live in the world, you may very well have some internalized anti-Blackness, and that may look different depending on where you live in the world. A lot of times we see instances of Black people, period, whether they Black American, African, Caribbean, whatever, chasing after white people as dating and romantic partners and whatever, right? And that's one of the ramifications of anti-Blackness, right? Because a lot of Black people, we believe this Eurocentric standard of beauty, all right? Because that's one thing that white supremacy forces on us. White supremacy tells us that beautiful is blonde hair and blue eyes and white skin and so and so and so. And a lot of Black people internalize this, right? So you see a lot of conversations being had about like interracial relationships, right? And it's kind of obvious and easy to have those conversations because it's like, okay, well, white supremacy says that whiteness is attractive. So of course, if a Black person hears this and internalizes this, then they're going to want to date white people, right? But the conversation needs to go a little bit more deeply than that, because this also affects how Black people date each other, okay? And I feel like a lot of people are going to immediately jump to, light skin, dark skin, colorism and stuff. And I, again, feel like that's kind of the obvious route to take, right? That's the obvious conversation that comes up. But we need to take a second to look even deeper, because let's take a scenario with 2 Black people who are the same skin color but different ethnicities. Well, you may think, well, they the same skin color. How would white supremacy or whatever play into how they date or anything like that, right? But it does. Something I swear to God I feel, right? And I mentioned this on YouTube once, and when I mentioned it, even an African woman responded in the comments. She was like, "Flower Tower, I'm glad you finally put this into words, because I've been thinking this and I couldn't really put it into the correct words," right? Whenever African men try to talk to me, right? And y'all see I'm clearly an unambiguous Black woman. It ain't nothing racially ambiguous. Ain't no, she's light-skinned, she's biracial. None of that, right? I'm clearly an unambiguous Black woman. So you would think, an African guy trying to talk to me, there couldn't be any like anti-Black undertones to that, could there, right? But I swear there still is, because I swear to God, Africans view Black Americans as like closer to white, whether it's culturally or maybe even sometimes phenotypically, because there are some Africans, like I used to date a Kenyan guy, right? he was jet black. Like his skin color was very black, right? So phenotypically, yeah, I do look further from black than him, even though I'm still clearly unambiguously black, right? But even outside of like special circumstances like that, because Kenyans are a special exception. Most Africans look, like more somewhat my skin color, whatever, like I'm not saying all of them because Lord, y'all finna come Africa, the most diverse continent, the so and so and so. The Africans are more genetically diverse. We get it. Like, shut up, damn. But my point is this: even when you have like an African person who looks more like me, right? There's still this weird dynamic where they view Black Americans as being closer to whiteness because we've been removed from Africa for so long, right? So in this conversation where we talk about Black people trying to date white people or lighter people or whatever, there also needs to be an ethnic conversation that is had, because Africans will attempt to date Black Americans because they view us as closer to white, right? But Black Americans usually don't date Africans for the same reason, because we view them as further from white. I said all that for a reason. The honest to God truth is, like I said, most Black Americans are not checking for Africans when it comes to dating. Now, of course, that brings up a whole conversation about anti-Blackness and all of this other stuff, because that is what it boils down to, right? But, I mean, that ain't what this video is about in and of itself. So I'm not going to get too sidetracked on that, because y'all know, look, I talk a lot. If I talked about every single thing every single time, each video would be 2 hours long, okay? So my point is this, though. Like I said, Black Americans ain't checking for no Africans when it come to dating. So she just made this whole scene up in her head. Oh, yeah, God said you a Black American man. That's your soulmate, so and so and so. Girl, even if your soulmate was a Black American man, that'd be steep for you, because he would not even want you. You acting like the ball is in your court. Oh, I don't want this. Girl, he don't want you. Y'all always doing this weird shit where y'all attempt to humble Black Americans, and it's clearly an insecurity thing. Now, I don't know what y'all insecure about, but it may be what I said about how, again, Black Americans are viewed as closer to white people because we've been removed from Africa for so long, right? I feel like some Africans do feel self-conscious about that, because it's weird, because in one breath, y'all will be like, oh, Black Americans don't have any culture. African culture is so supreme and so and so and so, right? But then in the next breath, y'all listening to hip hop and swag surfing and dressing like Black Americans, doing your makeup and hair like us. And it's like, what are you doing? Like, huh? Like, if you got such a poppin', ancient, awesome culture, why you ain't immersed in that? Like, y'all will literally sit there and be like, oh, Black Americans don't know their culture. We know our culture. Okay, you know your culture, and you'll be damned if you participate in it. So, like, what does that even really mean? Like, what? But anyway, just as some advice, so your eyelashes don't be crusty like this bitch's is. First of all, you need to buy black eyelash glue, and you need to put some eyeliner on, some black eyeliner on before you put your lashes on, and then put your lashes on top using the black eyeliner glue, and then it blends right in seamlessly. Stop buying white eyeliner glue. That shit looks disgusting. It looks very crunchy. You look nasty. Get it together.